Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey, followers, I'm in outer space. I'm in the International Space Station. And today I have Adam Roberts, whom I met at Woman of Achievement, and I'm pleased to have him on the channel. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
I am always good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm good. You're a health wizard like me, it looks like.
I do enjoy developing, and health is definitely a part of that.
Yeah, so tell my followers how we first met.
Well, it was at Women of Achievement. I've never been to a beauty pageant before. I had a friend coming into town, and she had made a comment about being there, and I was like, "Cool." Asked her a few questions on it, and she was like, "Actually, I have a guest pass if you want to come." And I was like, "Sure." So went up there and was just talking with a couple people. Conversation was pretty easy, pretty natural, and then Andy walked over, and obviously we all connected.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you did see me give him that Dora the Explorer mask, did you?
Yeah,
That was
indeed.
a funny moment on my channel when I posted it to YouTube. So, yeah, I must ask you, what do you do for a living?
So I do a number of things. My passion is so I actually run three businesses, and then I actually do mortgages as well. Um, Two of the businesses were derived from the main one, which is coaching healthy masculinity. So there's four pillars of a man. Fitness being one of the aspects of those pillars, the warrior. I also am a physical trainer, and I coach healthy relationships, people that want to be able to be connected with their relationships. But yeah, again, also pursue their goals. So just healthy masculinity as a whole, which is a pretty big gap in our culture anymore.
What exactly is that about?
Healthy masculinity. So again, there's the four pillars of it. There's king, friend, warrior, and mentor, and it deals with everything between um, obviously relationships with a spouse, the aspects of actually being connected and actually having a relationship that has value to it, that brings joy. One of the things that I consistently talk about with people is the fruit of the spirit, which I know not everybody is a Christ follower, but I am. And I think if you really take a step back and you look at Christ, he talks about some really basic, simple things that anybody can agree with, which
Make you happy, not it's not just the right thing to do, but they make you feel good.
yeah, that's it's fulfilling. A lot of I mean, just one of the most common things I teach is a lot of times people seek to be right in a relationship and they constantly create distance as opposed to actually learning how to be intimate. Obviously, a lot of people correlate that word with physical, but the truth of the matter is true intimacy, true connection with that other person. Um, doesn't have to be physical. And realistically, the physical portion of it can be so much more rewarding. Actually, it's way more rewarding when the other aspects are there. But yeah, so it just kind of comes around to being able to pursue your goals, have intimate relationships, develop your offspring, um, and be able to live life, do some adventurous stuff.
That's really good to hear and live your life to the fullest. That's all I'm about.
Absolutely. So
Yeah. So, where are you originally from?
I'm a seventh generation native to Arizona. So pretty rare shoes. There's not a lot of people that have that much history in Arizona. Um, you ever seen the movie Tombstone?
Yeah.
We're the bad guys from that movie. So in Tombstone, Arizona. So, but yeah,
You're from Tombstone?
that's where I mean my family line supposedly haunts the town, according to what people who they say haunts that town, which is pretty funny to me. I've never experienced anything like that, but yeah, Tombstone has a lot of history with the Clantons, and the Clantons are my um, distant relatives, I guess you could say.
Ah, okay. So there's legends that it's haunted, the town. Is that what you said?
Supposedly, Tombstone's one of actually like the most haunted town in the entire U.S. So you can actually go to there's like a place called the Birdcage where you can literally hear people still playing poker games. It's common, like it's crazy because like so many people talk about it being very, very common. They hear stuff and yeah, it's supposedly it's like the most haunted town in the U.S. And actually the most notorious gunfight in American history is actually the OK Corral, which was Wyatt Earp and his gang. And people don't realize that it was a gang. He put himself into power by, robbing trains and stuff like that. But then my family line came into town, the Clantons, and basically had a gang fight. So if you go down there, you can actually find out the real history to it. It's pretty interesting. So
it sort of reminds me of the New England town in that movie Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Ever seen that?
I don't know if I've seen it all the way through, but I know what you're talking about. That's funny.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. You should check out the Stanley Hotel in my hometown of Estes Park, Colorado, because
I've heard about it. Yeah,
so it's a hotel that's haunted. And it's actually appeared in several movies like Dumb and Dumber and The Shining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen a lot of Ghost Hunters stuff and things like that. I'm the more skeptical portion of that when I usually see it. I think a lot of times people want to see stuff, but I absolutely believe that there's spiritual things that are here that we cannot see as well.
Yeah. So you're all about the fruit of the spirit and trying to promote health for marriages. Is that right?
Marriages are obviously, that's a very key aspect of it. But I'll say this though, too. I mean, for me, we live in a culture that wants to dictate every aspect of our life. And yet most people look at culture and they're very unhappy with, if they live according to it, what actually takes place in their life. They feel very empty. They don't feel like they're connected. And so what I'll actually ask people a lot of times is, what actually does a healthy relationship look like for them? Because I know culture will tell them they should have a certain mentality of what it should be like. But the Bible doesn't necessarily always reflect what people say in our culture, especially Western culture. But yeah, what I coach more than anything is just being able to have relationships that are joyful, that are connected. I think our health mentally has everything to do with being able to connect with people and share emotion, connection, energy, however you want to put it. And a lot of people lack that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I read an article recently where I've read a lot of articles about divorce and all the controversies around it, with abuse and all that. And we heard some of those stories at the Woman of Achievement pageant. Remember hearing stuff like that?
Yeah.
I personally think that if this world wants to be better, we have to have better relationships. We have to, make sure that we don't always want to be right every time, and at the same time, it's just one of those things, where we need coaches like you in this world.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll be honest. There's a lot of people that, and it's interesting because obviously I play the role of coaching and mentoring them, but realistically, what I do more than anything is I connect them to material, books, audio material. I give them an outside perspective a lot of times. But if there's anything that I'm good at, it's asking people questions that gets them to slow down and go, you know what? Yeah, this doesn't really make sense for me to do this in this relationship. In fact, it doesn't accomplish anything I really want, as opposed to actually getting closer to their people. And it just, you see it all over social media. Everybody, as soon as somebody disagrees with anybody, everybody wants to prove that person wrong. We're back and forth. And it's like, it's not really how it works. I don't ever, there's almost nowhere in the Bible where Christ, when somebody says something outside of a Pharisee, where he just rips into them. Usually there's a couple scenarios, but it's usually when they're preventing his pathway to doing what he's supposed to be called towards. But most of the time he was pretty patient with people, understanding that
not everything is black and white,
Yeah.